Everyone, it's KIREI here for Hey Little Magpie, and I have a brand new layout for you using the lovely Simple Stories Simple Vintage Autumn Breeze collection. And I'm also using some of those fabulous new Hey Little Magpie wood pieces. So I have two of the pattern papers from the Simple Stories collection. I've got this wonderful background one. It's called Welcome Fall. And then I'm using one of their coordinating gingham papers in the colourway of Harvest. It's a sort of a rich orangey brick colour. So I'm just trimming down the tree paper here, and to be honest, this layout is one of those ones that just came together really easily because I had that fabulous background paper, and I didn't really need to add loads to it. I did do add some embellishment clusters, but really that paper's there anyway, and it does it sort of all for you. And I know sometimes with these types of background papers they can feel a little bit, I'm not sure how to use them. I don't always know. I always think, oh, you cover them up. But anyway, I really loved it. I love the colours. I think autumn's definitely my season. I really love all the sort of oranges and the rich tones, and yeah. So yeah, I've gutted the Harvest gingham paper, and I'm just using the plain size. Obviously, the gingham is on the other side, just to create a bit of a border for my layout. And then I've stuck back down the Welcome Fall, the tree paper over the top. I did distress the edges of first, of course, and then I've got that background. Really, I've got two photos here. This was from last year, so last autumn, when I was away with my friends, scrapping in this fabulous barn that we go to, and we just love to take a bit of a sort of walk around the countryside near where, because we are in the middle of pretty much nowhere when we're in the barn. So yeah, so I thought these were perfect photos for my layout. So I mean, I had two obviously slightly larger photos this time rather than the small ones, but I just went for it. I thought I'm just going to create a block over onto the one side. I'm just going to add a few embellishments because I don't want to completely hide all the trees. I've already done a bit of that with the photos. But yeah, and then I've pulled in the fabulous wood pieces, and these are new from Hey Little Magpie. There's the sweater weather title that I'm using there, and then I've got the pumpkin. There's a little heart. There are some other elements you can see over there on the left, but I don't use all of those. And then I've got the words at the bottom. So there's three sets: the sweater weather title, the autumn icons, which is the pumpkin and the acorns, and then there's the autumn type, which is all the little words. There are more in the set than just the three that I'm using. So I'm backing my photos, this time with the gingham side of the pattern paper, and I will of course distress the edges. And then I can get those stuck down. But yeah, as I say, I mean, this is one of those videos I did, and normally when I do a process video, I have three or more sort of sections of video. I do it in bits. This one I did in one take, which is pretty amazing for me. So yeah, I mean, I have figured out what I'm doing beforehand. To be fair, I don't sort of think about make it all up on the spot as I'm videoing. I do have to sort of consider what my layout's going to be, what it's going to look like. But yeah, I actually did it in one take, so that was yeah, I was pretty pleased with that one. Okay, so I'll get those stuck down. That bottom one there, I am just going to stick down flat because I'm going to sit that top photo over it, but I do raise that top photo just with some foam pads on the top edge. Here I was having a look about adding some other pattern papers underneath, and I trimmed out these squares from the 2x2 4x4 elements paper. I just decided it was just too much because I already had that really lovely background, and I felt like all I was doing was just adding more detail, which it really didn't need. So yeah, so they didn't go on. Okay, so I have the 12x12 cardstock sticker sheet, and I've pulled out some of the embellishments, and I've really only pulled out a handful. I mean, I've got those large leaves, I've got the little critters and the little sort of seed pod pieces. But yeah, that is really all I'm going to use on on either side, and then I'm going to layer that with the wood pieces. I've got the pumpkin there. And of course, I've got the title on the other side, and then I'll have the words at the bottom. So I'm just sort of balancing it out. But I have to say, those wood pieces are lovely. The detail in the etching is fabulous, and I'm loving the font in that sweater weather, and also on the words as well. Yeah, really, really lovely. And it gives you another texture to add to your layout. So you've got the wood versus just having papers and cardstock. But you've also got that really lovely etching, which creates a bit more dimension as well. So yeah, so loving those. Okay, so getting those stuck down, and and then yeah, it's sort of coming. Yeah, it came together, as I say, really quite quickly, which is unusual for me because normally a layout takes quite a while, fiddling around, and I do take my time. I am definitely not a fast scrapbooker. As you can see, I'm just adding glue to really the center of these pieces because I'm curving up the edges because I love to have that dimension on all of my layouts. So yeah, nothing really gets stuck completely flat. Okay, so a little bit of faffing around here with my words, deciding exactly how they're going to look, but I can assure you I'll get there in the end. Um, then I've got these, I love the decorative brads. So they've got all different sizes, and I am going to add a few of those to my layout. So, oh, finally, I'm going to get these stuck down. So I've got happiest, then I've got autumn vibes, and then finally, I've got so grateful. So they all tied really nicely into my photos. And then I'll just get that little sort of seed pod piece stuck down, and I will add one of the larger decorative brads along with it. I've got a couple I'm just adding over there on the other side. I think I've got a little one. Oh, it's a tree one over by the fox. This one here's got a little, it's like a house on it. And then I'm just adding some more of the plain coloured brads as well, just creating some little clusters in and around the embellishments I've already added. So yeah, and actually, amazingly enough, I do get the little brads stuck down quite quickly, which is very unusual for me because I do often move them around. And the enamel dots. Yeah, so these are the Hey Little Magpie enamel dots in forest, and I'm just adding a few of those in the sort of mustardy colour and the orange colour and the green. I'm just creating just little sort of clusters of those in each of my embellishment areas. And then I'm pretty much done. I will go on and add my journaling below my photos at the bottom of the layout there. And then I do add some gold ink splatters over each of the embellishment clusters. One of the things I did do after I finished everything, I decided to stitch and create a border around my title. So I did do that, but you'll see that in the close-ups in just a moment. So yeah. I hope you've enjoyed watching the process video. Here you go. Here are those close-ups. You can see my stitched border. I just added in the sort of a brown tone. There's the close-ups of those fabulous Hey Little Magpie wood pieces. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the process video, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.